Good morning, y'all. Welcome back. It is day 10 of me vlogging every single day. 10 is a big deal. Thank you for returning. And since we're in the double digits now, I think we need to do things a little bit different. Like, we can't have single digit energy in the double digit era. You know what I'm saying? We're in the double digits. We got to get into it a little deeper. And this is kind of like a relationship. It's like, not yet. We're still in the getting to know each other phase of the relationship. Like, we don't go together real bad yet. We're not there yet. So we are at the stage where I feel as though I can get a little more candid, let you in just a little bit more. Because, baby, I am like an onion. There are so many layers to me. And it'll take a few years to peel back all of my layers. But today, for the first time, since it is Thursday, I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to make this a story time Thursday. Yep. And what I am going to talk about, because I feel like part of this journey is not just about me developing as a content creator. It's not about just getting monetized. It's about just growing, learning, helping you. Like, I seriously feel as though I am here to help you. And it's like, it's a win-win, like I've said previously. As I grow, as I develop, as I learn, as I experience things and I share those things, like, there will be something for everyone, like a takeaway for everyone. With that being said, I have so many women in particular who are inspired by me in just life in general, because they see the things that I do on a daily. Because although, like, I used to, not really a lot now, but I used to post a lot, like, on Facebook, and people would just see me, like, doing different things, be it accomplish a goal or travel somewhere strange or just doing random stuff. But they didn't, it wasn't that I was doing those things, it's the way that I was doing them and, like, the joy that they saw and all those things. So I want to let you know, yes, those moments were real. It wasn't fake. It wasn't staged. I really did those things. If I was happy, I was happy. If I was annoyed, I was annoyed. Whatever you saw or whatever I said I felt, that's really what I felt. However, it was not always like that. This the part. I'm about to get into it. Hold up. Get you something too. I'm about to sip this. Okay, so listen. I have always been ahead of my time, per se. Like, it's like I've always been mentally older. Like, I have an old soul. There's a little old lady inside of me, but she's been there. Like, she was there when I was born. With that being said, I never desired to do the things that my peers were doing at the time that they were doing the things. I was married at 20. And of course, 20 is when most people are just figuring out, like, life. Like, 20, most 20-year-olds, especially when I was 20, and that's in the early 2000s, most 20-year-olds were like, yeah, they didn't know left from right. But I was a bit different. So, after high school, I went to school, like normal. And then, but I was still at home. And then I got a summer job, and then I moved out on my own. I met my then husband, now ex-husband, at work at that summer job. And I met him when I was 18. We got engaged when I was 19. We were married when I was 20. We had our first child when I was 21. Like, yeah, your girl was like, and it was all good, to be honest with you. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can honestly say I enjoyed being married because, I'm not for the streets. I'm not for everybody. So I like being taken. So I didn't feel like at that time that I was missing out on anything or anyone. I didn't feel like, oh, I want to go run in the streets and stuff. No, I just never desired to do those things. So I was like a little 20-year-old homemaker, baby. Yes. Listen, so in the beginning of our marriage, up until I was like 24, I worked. I still worked at that place. I'm not revealing too much because it's one thing Tasha don't do is tell our business. This isn't me telling my business. This is me sharing a story, and these things aren't secret. I mean, it's not breaking news. Maybe to some, but it's not like a secret. It is nothing to be like ashamed about. That's the other thing. I know I'm taking off, getting a little sidebar, but it's like a disclaimer, like, stop being ashamed of life. Like, you went through the things that you went through in life because you needed to grow, but oftentimes you went through it for someone else. Like, so it's like, this is my time to help that someone that may be early 20s watching, or maybe early 40s like me, and trying to figure it out. Come on. We can reel it back in. All right, so I worked at that place that we met. I worked there until I was 24. I also finished a degree while working there and having a toddler. Come on now, the girl been on it. I've been on it. So at 24, we made some adjustments. My husband at the time, he got a different job at a different company, and we decided, excuse me, that it would be best for me to stay home and take care of our one child at the time. We have two, but at the time we had one. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So I stepped away from my career, which I could have stayed in and grown in, but I chose to step away from it because why not? So I was a stay-at-home mom for a total of 10 years. Yep. So anyway, we're gonna fast forward. A few years went by. We had another child, and everything was good. Okay, we get into our 30s, everything, I'm like fresh 30. Everything's still good. My ex-husband's only like 3 years older than me. So we're still, we're neck and neck as far as development and all those type things, experience in life and all those things. So, as time went on, things started happening and we started to drift apart. Well, it was always important to us for us to have our kids in a healthy, loving environment. And during that time, we weren't like, we never like fought. Like, it was never like that. But we're both very like chill, peaceful, happy people, individuals, which is why, we did as well as we did for as long as we did. But we got to a point where, like, we would just get on each other's nerves for no reason. And, like, there was a tension. And we didn't want our kids to grow up seeing that kind of tension and thinking that they have to, like, put up with certain things or whatever. Long story short, we decided that we were going to separate. So we did. And we separated for 2 years, and then we were officially divorced. Okay, now keep in mind, I said I did not work. So during that time of being a housewife and a stay-at-home mom, I feel as though I totally lost my identity. Prior to becoming a housewife and a stay-at-home mom, I was me with my career and my, I had a path. I had a career path. Like, I was not where I desired to be ultimately, but I was on the path and I was doing the things in the spaces where I needed to be to get to, my ultimate end goal. So me choosing to leave all of that and to stay home and to take care of my family and my kids. And there were benefits, like, for example, like both of my kids, when they entered kindergarten or whatever, they were extremely advanced. They could read, they could write, They could write their whole name, first, last, address. They knew their phone numbers. They knew all the colors. They knew all the shapes. They knew the alphabets. There was really nothing for them to learn in kindergarten, kindergarten through first grade, other than just social skills, because I literally taught them everything else. Okay, so as a result, they are and were still, like, they are and were academically advanced, and they are still there. Okay, so that was good, I also didn't have to worry about, weird things happening, because daycares and stuff. We saved money because we didn't have to pay for daycare, although I did shop a lot because I didn't have anything else to do. So I would shop a lot. Like, I just go shopping during the day. So I think, okay, let's focus. Okay. So anywho, once we decided to separate and divorce, obviously in the state that I live in order to get a divorce, like, you must live in 2 separate households. Like, you must, it's a requirement. So in the beginning, I stayed in our house because we were homeowners, and he got an apartment, like, on the other side of town. We did that for a little bit. But then, that was our house, our home. It became very depressing for me to be in that house and it not be a home like we had made it. So I eventually, we sold the house, and I eventually moved into an apartment as well. Okay. This is where it got a little difficult. So being that I had been at home for 10 years, I had a very hard time at that time of the world applying for a job, because, when you fill out the application and you submit your resume, there was a 10-year gap. And everyone kept saying, well, what were you doing from this point to that point? And I'm like, I stayed home, finished a degree, all the things. And I couldn't get I couldn't pick up where I left off. So I wanted to go right back into the industry, like right back into IT, because that's what I was doing. And they were like, not hiring me. So I'm like, okay, I kind of started to panic a little bit. I'm like, uh-oh, what am I gonna do? Because I do not want to be on the street, and I do not want my kids living in the hood, and just like all these things. I'm like in panic mode, because it's like I was more so focused on wanting my kids to have the life that they had, because it wasn't their fault that we chose that to separate and not be together, so it's like they deserve to maintain the lifestyle that they were accustomed to. So I'm like, okay, I got to figure something out. So I was just applying for a job. Y'all, I even had a little part-time job. It started out as a little seasonal job at Toys R Us. Now, I'm not dissing anyone that works at Toys R Us, but I'm just saying, at that point in my life and me being on my own, Toys R Us couldn't pay no bills. But again, it was seasonal. And I will say, and I will give him lots of props, like my ex-husband, he absolutely did not leave me hanging. He did not. He made sure that his kids were in a good place and we had what we needed, But my whole point was for me to establish my own independence. So I needed to get back out there. I needed to get back in the career and work. Okay. Anywho, so I ended up I ended up applying to FedEx Express, not ground. Like FedEx, I don't know what they're doing now. I heard they're all one now, but at that time there was like FedEx Freight, FedEx Ground, FedEx Express, which is like air. So with Express, everything comes from an airplane. It's like it's either going on an airplane when you ship it, or it just came off an airplane. Okay, so so I did that for a while. But my plan was never to stay there. Like, it was to get into IT there. Well, I won't get into it. That's a whole nother day, a whole nother vlog. But yeah, it wasn't that simple. So I did stay there and I worked there and I did pretty well. Like, I was able to get everything that I needed. I had everything I needed. I had insurance, 401k, I bought a house, car, all the things. So I was good. So I'm like, okay, yeah. So I did that for a little minute. And then I got to the point where I'm like, okay, girl, what are you doing? Like, did I have a job? Yes. Did it pay me well? Yes. Did it provide for me and my kids? And did we live comfortably? Yes. And I was grateful for that. But there was something in me that was like unfulfilled. It was like this void, because I felt like, it's like, I'm not even using my brain. Like, I'm not using my brain. I'm not using my talents or my abilities, because I had gotten so good at my little route that I could do it backwards. I could do it in the dark. I could do it in the park, like Dr. Seuss. Like, I could do it anyway. I'm like, this is like, it's muscle memory at this point. Like, I'm not thinking, I'm not learning. I'm just going through the motions. So one day I was at work and I had a complete meltdown, because I'm like, I was just so unhappy. I just felt trapped. I'm like, girl, if you don't get out there and use your brain and do something that you're supposed to be doing, and this is not it. Like, yeah, this got you through a season, but this is not it. So I'm gonna try to speed the story up, because we're gonna have to do this story into parts, because there's so much. Like, this is loaded. So this is part one, okay? So we're gonna speed through. So I decided. So actually, my church was doing the Daniel fast, and I had never really participated. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. But this one year, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And not only am I going to do it, I'm gonna do it like exact. So if it says no cooked food, or if it said whatever the rules are or were, I followed it like exact. And during that 21-day fast, I like really I was just like searching and seeking and listening and reading the Bible and praying like crazy. And I was just like, Lord, I feel so unfulfilled. Like, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? I know this isn't it. And so can you tell me what it is that you need me to do and what I should be doing? And for some reason, he told me to go back to school. I'm like, Lord, I got 2 degrees already. So I'm like, okay. He's like, get your master's degree. I'm like, okay. So I did. I enrolled. I got my master's degree in information science. I'm like, okay, yeah. During that process, though, I had like a graduate assistantship, and we worked with urban kids, and we helped them develop their STEM identity and all those things or whatever. And during that process, like something clicked. I'm like, ooh, like it was just so fulfilling, like to see, like to teach the kids and to help them and to introduce them to things that they thought they couldn't do and couldn't be. And then I noticed how important representation is. And then I noticed like the need, and I got into my specialty, which is what I'm studying now as a PhD student, imposter syndrome, imposter phenomenon, imposterism, however you want to put it. And it's like, particularly and specifically in Black girls and women, and STEM in particular, because it's like that has always been a space that was associated with white men, honestly, like just white men. So I'm like, okay, all right. So let me see, how can I change this narrative? Like, how can I help? And just whatever. I think I totally skipped a phase, but no, I didn't. I'm on track. So anyway, that's how I got into my doctoral program, okay? I'm gonna pause here because for real, like each of those sections, like my 20s, my 30s, and now my early 40s, each of those are their own really segment. There is absolutely no way I could share this entire story within like the few minutes that this vlog is going to be. So I'm going to break it up. My point of saying all of this is that I've come in contact with a lot of people, women in particular, who are inspired by the life that they see me living now. And I went through some things. I'm still going through some things, actually. But people will say, you know, I love how you just took charge and you changed your career and you travel all over the world and you do all these things. I want to do that, but I just feel like I'm too old and it's going to take too long. And I'm like, really? Listen, time is going to go on. Like, life does not stop. Time does not stop. If you want to be or finish your nursing degree that you put on pause, but you feel like you're too old because it's going to take you like 4 years, the 4 years are going to go by regardless. Whether or not you spend those 4 years pursuing your dreams, working on a degree, starting up a business, losing weight, I mean, whatever it is, the 4 years are going to go by. So you may as well use that time working towards your dream and your goals. Like, go for it and stop putting like, okay, so like, let's take this for example. When I tell people like I'm working on my PhD, they be like, my hat's off to you. Which is cool, which is fine, you know, because it is not for everybody. Listen, sometimes I'll be wondering if it's for me. It is for me, but it's tough, it's difficult because, I mean, you know, there are different roads, different paths that you could take. I did not take the easy road, not to discredit anyone, but I'm doing the out the mud version, you know, like it's face-to-face, it's on campus, it's lots of research, it's lots of writing, like it's intense. However, I am learning so much, and I've learned to appreciate this process. Like, it freaked me out in the beginning, but you know, now I'm like, okay, this is okay. I like this. It's challenging, yes, but all good things are. I say all of that to say, look, if there is something that is in you, something that you desire, don't worry about who has done it, or if you feel like, oh, I can't do that because I'm not qualified. Listen, y'all, I am first generation. I'm the first to do these things in my family. Don't let that stop you. You can still do it. You can still do it. Yes, it may be a little more difficult. You may face more barriers and more challenges than others who have someone to relate back to. But so what? End that cycle by becoming the go-to, becoming the person that your family, your kids, your nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, cousins can go to if they have questions. Like, don't worry about who, like, I didn't come from that. So what? Like, who really cares about that? Take charge of your life. Take charge of your happiness, because I've lost 2 very close people to me, which is also going to be another. Listen, y'all, I'm on this YouTube thing because I have stories and life experiences to share for days, you know, and it's just no way for me to say all the things that's in me within a few minutes. And I don't want my vlogs to be too long because I have things to do. Like, that's why I get in early in the morning, like before my day officially starts, and I do this, I vlog, so that I can continue to show up for you all and be a woman of my word and be consistent. My time is ticking now. I know some of you, y'all nosy. Y'all just nosy. For real, I know you're nosy, and it's fine, because regular nosy back. But back here next Thursday, and I'll pick up from this series. I think I'm going to map it out because it's so loaded. And I usually, when I vlog, as you see, there are no cuts. There's no takeover. Once I press record, baby, I talk. And when my time is up, I hit stop, record, and then I upload, because that's what we're doing right now this season, okay? I gotta go, y'all. I can't stay here all day. I have work to do. With all of that said, I hope you can find something in my little sporadic, all over the place story that will help you through whatever chapter, whatever journey, whatever phase of life you are currently at. You can get through it. It's not the end of the world. I know it feels like it's the end of the world, because listen, you couldn't tell me it wasn't the end of the world, baby. Like, I thought life was over. Like, I really did. I was in panic mode, but look at me. Look at me. I'm figuring it out. I'm in here. Look, I got my sticks. Look, y'all, this one broke. Really, they both broke. What? Anywho, like y'all, subscribe, turn on your notifications too, because you're not going to want to miss the rest of the story. Because it's like, look, I done put it out there, now I got to follow through. So now I'm going to give it to you. I mean, we're going to break it up. I think we'll start. I don't know how we're going to do it. But we're gonna hit on all that, so that the people who needs it and the people that needs the example, the help, the advice, I'm gonna make sure you get it. All right? I gotta go. Have a good day. Be blessed, be positive, be productive, be prayerful. All right? And I will see you all tomorrow. Day 10, y'all. Respectfully, Tash.